Hey, Facebook. Okay, I think I'm live. Let me know if you can see my screen. I'm going to go live or look at my live video from my cell phone to make sure that it's working correctly. Because my Facebook screen goes crazy as soon as I look back at my Facebook. So if you have any questions or comments, I'm going to hopefully catch them looking on my phone. But if I miss it, I will get back to you as soon as I hang up the Facebook Live. So I wanted to show you guys kind of how we approach branding and how we look at it really with a strategic, purposeful, intentional direction, that it's not something that just, is a mix of colors that look pretty together and just making sure that it flows nicely. There's more to branding than a pretty color palette. So we call it the radical alignment framework. We're kind of trying on the name, the brand fix method. To be totally honest, we have a kick-ass process, but the name of it is still in flux. But the process is the same, and that's what I'm going to walk you guys through today. Again, if you cannot hear me or have questions or anything, let me know. So the way we approach branding is by looking at a few different personality qualities of you, your fascination profile, which means like how you come across organically fascinating and what makes you you, and putting all those elements together in a visual sense. So this little graphic here, you should be able to see my screen. This graphic is a really simple visualization of how we approach branding. So looking at who you are, who your dream client is, and finding out where the overlap is. Where do those elements overlap with each other? Where do they intersect? And then amplifying those pieces. So let me pull down, I want to show you one more thing before I get into some examples. Seeing the back end of my messy file system closet. Let me scroll down to an overview of one of our clients. So I've got this other graphic here, which I really like. It is just a simple triangle, but there's 3 elements that we really take into consideration when building a brand and when building a color palette and helping direct the brand direction. And those are your brand archetype, your dream client's brand archetype, and your fascination advantage. And what an archetype is really just like a personality type. And as much as, many people hate being put into certain boxes and saying oh, you're one of 12 personalities. You're definitely not one of those. You're multiple elements put together to make who you are. And of course, that's what makes everybody individual and unique. But there are some common threads between people. And so in this case with Lindsay, now Lindsay teaches the sciences for students from kind of elementary, middle school up to high school, and making it really hands-on and engaging so that it's not just boring sitting in a classroom learning. And so for Lindsay, they are the explorer. They want to look at things in a new way, and they want to see how things can be learned in a new way. And another component of Lindsay is that they are the creator. And along with them being the creator, so is their ideal client. And in this case, that's the student that they're trying to attract. So both Lindsay and the ideal client have the creator element, as well as Lindsay has an explorer element. And Lindsay comes across very innovative, very much stepping outside of the box, being willing to provoke or push buttons to allow people to look past the status quo. So putting all of these together in context with what Lindsay does, we built this Pinterest board. Now, they work with students, typically, ages 10 to 18. And we built out a few different color palettes based on the visual representation we put together on the board. Now, all of these color palettes will work, like I say down here. They'll all incorporate the Explorer element and the creator element. And so at this point, it's just a matter of Lindsay's preference. And so with Lindsay in particular, I'll scroll down here. We narrowed it down just a bit further, and we kind of combined two palettes together. So getting this teal from this letter C and bringing it into letter A gave us this palette. And so, again, any of the three palettes we put together for Lindsay based on this Pinterest board, which again is based on the strategic discovery of those archetypes, all of those will be effective, and then it's just a matter of personal taste. So I wanted to show you another example of an innovative brand. So just like Lindsay has that innovation quality right here, I want to show you another innovative brand with the explorer element as well, but that third piece is different and how that translates to a different brand, a different color palette. So Glasscliff Divas, they are a marketing company. They really do well in Facebook advertising, social media marketing, and really honing in on finding those right people for you online. Now, they as well, just like Lindsay, they are an element of innovation. Now, along with innovation, so being willing to push boundaries a little bit, step outside of the box, they are also the archetype of citizen, or in other words, girl next door. So if I just make this a bit bigger, there are different qualities of all these archetypes. So the girl next door is very accepting of other people. They want to connect with people, and they're going to accept them. They're not going to push people away. It's not exclusive. It's really welcoming. And the clients that they work with are, there's a word for it. I can't remember. Kate or Britt, if you guys see this video and you see this question, there's a word for their type of clients. They work for people they work with clients who are all about like social justice, social giving back, I believe. And so their clients, Kate and Britt, they make up Glasscliff Divas. Their clients are very much the caregiver. So they're naturally generous and compassionate to others. But not only is their ideal client the caregiver, so are they. So it's not just the client, it is them. That's where the overlap is between Glasscliff Divas and then their Glasscliff Divas clients. So to amplify these three qualities, so the caregiver, innovation, and girl next door, we put together this palette. Whoops, trying to zoom in here. And so it is not an overly jarring palette in that it's got warm colors, the pinks, an element of like a teal or aqua blue, which brings in that like trust and loyalty factor. But it's not afraid to make a statement with a punch of yellow. And then also combining a green and a teal that is not normally put together very often. And that's that innovative piece. So putting all those together, we pulled that from the Pinterest board we put together for them. And again, we always start with the Pinterest. Once we have our call with you and we learn what archetypes you are and really learn about what you do and how you work with your clients, we'll pull together a Pinterest board and then narrow it down into a few different color palette options. So what we came up with for Glasscliff Divas, like I said, was this palette here. And turning that into adding in fonts and photography or photo styles, that turns into one of two different looks. We kind of went two different ways. Either something like this, where that yellow is definitely there, but it's only there minimally. It's not going to make a huge, like all over the screen yellow. It's just going to give it some little accent. And bringing down here, there's a bit more graphical elements. They're not quite, aligned as expected. Again, that's that innovative piece, pushing out of the normal, the boundaries. And their photographer did excellent with matching and coordinating with their color palette and their photo shoot. And so if I bring up another innovative brand, so this is Alin, and her brand is just like the other two, it's an innovation brand. It's a brand with creativity and pushing the limits and getting people to think differently about their life. So a Lynn is the lover and the lover personality. So with the lover personality, she is very much passionate about everything she does. She really puts her whole heart into it, and she wants to enjoy her life, her business, her relationships, whatever it is that she's involved in, she wants to enjoy it. That's part of the lover personality. Now, just like Lindsay, which is the one we started with, and Lindsay has the element of explorer and innovation, a Lynn also has explorer and innovation. But like I said, the third element is lover, which is different than Lindsay's third element of creator. So just that one tweak of that third piece of the triangle, we go to this palette. Now again, this is not the one and only palette that you can use when you pair innovation, lover, and explorer. This is just one palette that we created. We started with, like I said before, a Pinterest board that we created and pulled together based on what she does and who her clients are and who she is in terms of personality. And we pulled out a few different options for color palette. Let me actually pull up the original just to give you some context. So like I said, we pulled together the Pinterest board, and then these were the color palettes we pulled together based on the board. So again, just like with Lindsay, when I said all of these three palettes will work when you connect lover and explorer. But in the end, we went with this palette. So what I wanted to point out here is you add the explorer and the innovator together, and that third piece is lover for a Lynn and creator for Lindsay. And when you pull that together, first of all, the color palette, you can see there's a similarity in terms of this dark red. There is differences though in terms of there's like a bright teal and an orange for the creator, whereas for the lover, there is more of a kind of pinkish color and then a dark teal. And visually putting this all together, we create a style tile, and I'm going to show you both Lindsay and a Lynn. And so I'm just going to flip back and forth for a minute. And hopefully you can see what I'm trying to describe is very much a different look and a different feeling from these two style tiles. And even though, again, they're very much the creator, or the explorer and the innovator, there's a third piece that makes them different and unique. There is the element of their actual work that they do with clients that makes them unique. And putting all those together gives us the brand direction, which again is unique for every single person. But instead of just throwing together a pretty color palette or searching on Pinterest like purple color palette or red color palette or, blue and gold color palette, depending on like what colors you like, beyond that, beyond just what colors you like, there's an element of strategy that has to go into it to make sure that it is effective. Because if you don't work with effective branding, it will just be okay. It'll last for a little while. It will not be sustainable. And you're going to want to change it in 3 to 6 months because it doesn't fit like you. It doesn't get the clients you think you want. It just doesn't sit right, and you're not really sure why. And I bet you it's because you didn't do the work behind the scenes before you created your brand. And by that, I mean your visuals, your logo, your color palette, the website, all of those things may have been beautifully done, but without strategy behind them and an intentional meaning or reason behind choosing what you've chosen, it's not going to last. So this is one piece of what we do with our clients and with our Black Friday / Cyber Monday promo. This is that first piece that we do with every single client, is dive into who are you, what are your archetypes, what do they mean for you, what's your fascination advantage, all of these different elements of who you are and who you want to work with. And then we bring that into your logo and your website. And we are creating these websites on Show It because it is the most easy to use creative platform that I've found, and I've been working with a lot of different platforms in the last 4 years. So our Black Friday promo / Cyber Monday promo will end this evening, of course, 11:59. We're going to make it Pacific Standard Time, so 11:59 PST, which is 2:59 a.m. EST. You get all that. You get the website, the logo, and the brand strategy for under $2,000. And we do have payment plan options available as well. And if you're not quite sure if this is the right fit, or you're kind of skeptical about this whole archetype thing, I invite you to join our workshop. We have a workshop on Thursday. Thursday morning. I believe it's at 10:30 Pacific or 1:30 Eastern in the afternoon. We're going to do an hour-long workshop. We cap it at 6 people. We had 4 spots available. We now have 3 spots available. It's only $20 to register, and the registration fee is literally just to make sure that you attend, because we know how valuable it will be. And in fact, if you do attend and you don't get any value out of it, we will happily refund you that $20 registration fee, because we are so confident that you're going to get something from our workshop on Thursday. Our intention is to work really close one-on-one with each of you and really identify one element of that overlap and show you how to implement it right away. You know, what color direction you should use based on all of these elements of you and your ideal client. So it's a lot to go through in 1 hour, but it is intentionally capped at 6 people so that we can really work one-on-one with each of you. All right, so I'm going to sign off. If you guys have any questions or anything. Oops. I totally just sorry guys. I was clicking a button on my phone. I'm going to sign off now, but if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a PM or put them in the comments here. I would love to create an intentional strategic brand for you that's effective and that really will make a difference in your business, and comes from tried, tested, and true strategy. So beyond just picking a pretty color palette. All right, guys, have a great afternoon, and perhaps I will pop on later if you have any more questions. Thank you.